Hey guys, welcome back to Container Crops, the Scaredy Cat Gardener. As you can see, I'm in the kitchen. That means I'm cooking up something for you all today. And that something is called HardTack. It's what I like to call a prepper's ultimate survival food that we all should have in our long-term prepper's pantry. Now, it's okay to have it in your short term too, but this food, guys, it actually lasts forever. It's called the forever food. It dates back to the 1800s. The Civil War, soldiers and sailors, they had this HardTack as a survival food. It's something that we all need to learn how to make. It's something that we all need to make and have in our pantries. It's also called ship's biscuit because way back in the day, way back in the day, they used to store HardTack in barrels on ships for the sailors. That way, if anything happened and they ran out of food, they knew they had these barrels of these ship biscuits, HardTack. Now it's very similar to a cracker. It's actually called a cracker, but you can't just pick it up and bite it like that. It doesn't work in that manner, but it is preserved for the long haul. So I'm going to go over the ingredients and then we're going to get into exactly how to make it.
Show off your fantasy reality, whoa, that's yours, but I'll keep doing mine. You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.
Okay, so there are only 3 ingredients for this HardTack. And when I said earlier that it's not meant to be eaten like a cracker, that's because HardTack is just as its name implies. It is hard. Hard. It's meant to be soaked. You know how we dunk our cookies in milk? They dunked this in hot coffee, water, anything like that. If they were cooking something, it can be put into a stew. It needs to be softened, needs to sit in this hot liquid for about 5 or 10 minutes before you're able to actually bite into it and actually eat it. But you know, they had their hot coffee and it has nutrition. It sustained them. It gave them energy to continue to go on and on. So it was very good for them, and that's why they had it, and that's why the ships stored it for the sailors as well. So you can't just bite it and pick it up, and you'll see. And it's also very thick, but it's similar to a cracker in that size. Now it can be round, and you can really make it in any shape you want, but you can also make it like the saltine crackers. And as a matter of fact, I don't have it right here, but that's going to be one of my measuring tools when we get into actually making it. So the ingredients, the 3 ingredients, you're going to need flour. Now, all-purpose flour. I am using Arrowhead Mill. That didn't sound right. Arrowhead Mill organic all-purpose flour. You can use spelt flour, you can use wheat flour, you can use an array of different types of flour. But if you want this to be a true forever food, you're going to need all-purpose flour, white all-purpose flour. You can use other flours, spelt, wheat, whatever kind, but they have oils in it, so it shortens the lifespan of your HardTack. So that's why we want to use all-purpose flour. It can just be regular all-purpose flour. I just, have organic all-purpose flour, but local grocery store, all-purpose flour is what you want. I am also using pink Himalayan salt, any fine table salt, and a cup of water. So let's go ahead and make our HardTack. So the tools you'll need to make this HardTack: a cookie sheet. Now I have some parchment paper on here. You're going to need a rolling pin or something to roll it out with. You are also going to need a knife. I'm using a pizza cutter to cut it. I find that's easier. We're going to be working with our hands, so make sure your hands are exceptionally clean. a wooden spoon to start off with, and we're going to have to get in there with our hands. So make sure they are impeccably clean. You're going to need a 1 cup measuring cup, and for the salt I actually used a teaspoon measuring spoon to put the salt in this little container, and a big mixing bowl. So let's go ahead and get this hardtack made. First thing we're going to do is measure out our 3 cups of flour. It does not need to be sifted, but you kind of want to use a level measure on it. So I'm just going to measure it with my finger there. Just 1 cup. And let's see here. Two cups. And I will have this recipe for this hardtack, the Prepper's Ultimate Survival Food, in the description. So you can always just come back to the video and click on the description and get the recipe. Now I need to grab a whisk. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is add in our salt. Go ahead and add in your salt, and you can use a whisk, a fork, or whatever you have to make sure that that salt is well blended into your flour. Okay, after that's incorporated, now we're going to go in with our water. Now, just want to go ahead and pour the water in. And then we're going to take a wooden spoon, it seems to work best again, and you just want to incorporate this water into the flour. Once we get it to a certain consistency, then we're going to turn it out on our surface. So make sure that your counter is good and clean. So this looks like a bunch of rags or something, and that's what you want it to look like before we turn it out on our counter. Now you want to go ahead and make sure you have a little flour. First of all, make sure your counter is dry, clean and dry. And just put a little flour down here. You may need more, you may need less. One's countertop is a little different. Then you just want to turn it all out. Just get it out of the bowl, right into that flour. Get all of it off of whatever you're using. Now you want to add just a little bit of flour to it, not much at all. And you're going to bring it together. Start bringing this dough together, and you're going to form a ball with it. It's okay if you have a little extra left on here. If you can incorporate it in there, that's good. The consistency that we're looking at and that we're looking for is kind of like molding clay or Play-Doh. Play-Doh or molding clay. If you've ever used Play-Doh, we're going to knead this just maybe a minute or two, not very long. And as you see, as I'm kneading it, it's not sticking to my counter. Okay, so we now have a nice smooth ball, as you can see. And one of the most important tools I forgot to mention, you will need a wooden screwer. This is crucial, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes. So now we want to roll this out. You might need to put a little flour on your rolling pin. And you just want to roll it out. Key factor here, when you're rolling this dough out, make sure you roll it only to about 1/2 inch thick. It needs to be about 1/2 inch thick. Any thinner and your hardtack may burn or it may not cook properly. So that's crucial, very crucial. Preheat your oven at this point to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I have saltine cracker here because I kind of want to make sure I'm doing it pretty much at that size. So that's why I have the saltine cracker here. But you don't have to measure that. You can use a cookie cutter or anything else. I probably should have started from this side. It'd be easier for me to hold this the cracker down. And they don't have to be perfect, guys. So, okay, so we're going to work with these. We are going to work with these. And once they're all done, I am going to also show you all exactly how to store it. And we're also going to actually get us a cup of coffee, and we are going to soak it and taste it as well. So hang in there with me, guys. You all need this in your sustainable long-term pantry. Now for the skewer, we need to make holes in it. So you take the pointed side and put it down and poke that hole around. Make sure it goes through to the other side. Now we'll poke them all the way through once we're done, but you need quite a few. So in this size, I'm actually going to put 6 holes in each cracker. The hole is going to allow the cookie to dry properly as well as cook properly so that it won't puff up or anything like that. So make sure you have plenty of holes in each cracker, and the holes must go all the way through to the other side. So I'm going to knock these holes out, and I'll bring you in, guys, a little closer to see it when we're all done. Okay. If you can take a closer look, see the holes in there? They need to go all the way through to the other side. As you can see the dots, but we need to make sure the holes go through. So you can either turn it over like this and take the skewer and poke the holes through this way. Or, as you'll see me do shortly, you can just pick the whole cracker up and push the skewer through it, which I find is a little bit easier. And you can look through the cracker and see that the holes are going all the way through. Crucial step, don't miss it or your crackers will not cook properly. Okay, we are all done. Take a look. Don't they look amazing already? They look like crackers. So now we're going into our 350-degree oven, 30 minutes. Take them out, let them rest for 15 minutes, and we're going back in the oven again for about 45 minutes. So a total of about an hour, anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Everybody's oven is a little bit different. So we are halfway there. We are out of the oven, and we are now cooling for 15 minutes. We're going back in the oven, 350 degrees, so do not turn your oven off. The reason we do this process is because it helps in the drying of the HardTack. It helps it become very, very dry. And in the end, I will show you how to store it, and I'll show you how to eat it. Okay, guys, we are all done with our HardTack. This is what it looks like. Let me come up close so you guys can see that really, really well. Take a look up close. See the dots, the holes through there. See how thick it is? And very hard. Knock, knock. Very, very hard. So the way you would want to store it is basically airtight. So any good glass jar, a mason jar, canning jar, anything that you want, I would suggest whatever you think you're going to put it in before you make it, make sure they will fit inside. Make sure they'll fit inside here. And you just put them in. You can put in like a, oh, I can't think of what you call it, you know, the thing for moisture, like silicone gel or something. You can put that in here if you would like to, but actually it's not really necessary. And I know all of these aren't going to fit in here, but I just want to try to fit a few more in here. And I have some coffee. I made some coffee because I'm going to put it in here and see how well it came out. Now, this is how you would just store it. Airtight, put it somewhere. Doesn't have to be cool, dark place or anything like that, as long as the lid makes it airtight. Most important thing. And this is just a small jar. You can use whatever size jar that you would like to use. But we're going to try this. Let me grab my coffee right quick. I don't want to keep you guys much longer, but kind of like doing a taste test. So I've got my coffee already here. It's piping hot, as you can see. And no matter how soft it gets, I do want to put my disclaimer out there. No matter how soft it gets in this hot coffee, I personally cannot bite it. Dentist orders. I actually have Invisalign, so I can't actually bite it. But I can break it, put it off in my mouth, and chew it. So we will see how well it does. So we're just going to take one. We're going to hold it in here for a few seconds, and I'll see if I can break a piece off. I'm going to put about halfway down, so I'll be able to break a good piece off if it's okay. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you got anything out of it, please leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and share it out. You need to do it a little bit longer. I really would appreciate it. So we're going to see. Should just put it on in here and fish it out. How about that? What y'all think? I think so. We're going to drop this on in here. I'm going to run and get a knife, and then we'll fish it back out, and we'll see. There we go. Okay, let's see what we have, if this can be cut at this point. Now, the general consensus is it needs to be soaked in coffee, hot, stew, soup, whiskey, whatever, for 5 to 10 minutes. So it hasn't been quite 10 minutes. I got a spoon. It hasn't been quite 10 minutes, but let's see what we have here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. It broke apart, and I imagine if I could have bitten it, then it could have worked just well. It would have worked fantabulous. Okay. You know what? I know why they had this. I mean, I don't know why, but I can understand. It's not bad, guys. I could eat this and be happy. It tastes like an unsalted saltine cracker. It tastes like an unsalted saltine cracker. It's not bad at all. It's good. As a matter of fact, this piece is going back in this coffee. When I can get the rest of it broke up, I'm getting ready to finish this. This is, I really want to say it's delicious. It's good. Well, listen, I'm not going to keep you all any longer. Don't forget, check out Facebook Container Crops, IG Scaredy Cat Gardener. Appreciate each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Don't forget to leave me those comments what you think about HardTack. Are you going to make it? And if so, please send me your photos. Come on now. Please send me your photos over on Facebook. Really would appreciate it. And until next time, remember, anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant. And I'll see you on the trail.
You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.